All right, guys, welcome back to Core Team Hawaii. Our live stream, we're a little later today, but thank you guys for joining us. If you're watching this after the fact, go to coreteamhawaii.com for all your real estate needs. I'm going to go on a rant today. It's just me. Mahi had to go do a showing. Jody isn't even going to be able to make it today, so it's just me, but I have a rant in store for you. It's about me and my failures, so stay tuned for it. We're going to get into off-market listings, an on-market listing that I want you guys to take a look at. Like, we're ready to make a deal in Eva. Feedback for our agents. Most of the feedback is about Mahi this time, how great she's doing. One of the ones that comes to mind, the guy said, I've bought 5 homes, and Mahi is fantastic. I can really tell she knows what she's doing. So I look forward to reading that for you guys. Let's get right in. You know what? I'll flash the website real quick. Go to coreteamhawaii.com right here for all your real estate needs. Looking to sell a home, looking to buy a home. Go to the bottom, fill out the contact form, and let's connect and talk about doing business together. All right, guys. Let's go on my rant. I want this to be a placeholder for advisement for our clients in the future. I want it to be a reminder to me next time I'm going to try to buy a house. And I just kind of want to get it off my chest, right? I've been trying to buy a bigger home, more of a legacy home, right? We have a starter home, very small home. I'm not big, flashy. I'm not going to go buy the Denali, and I'm not going to extend myself on a home. I'm going to make sure I have a home I can afford. We went with a small home to start, and it's time to upgrade. It's time to, it's time to upgrade. And I wrote an offer a couple months ago. We lost out on that. I asked the agent, what could have been different? The agent said, it was just money. It's just the other person had a huge down payment. And I said, okay. Well, I saw the agent again, and the agent says, oh, the wife just had a soft spot for this one family. I'm like, which one is it? I don't know. I know that we lost, and I know that money talks. I should have went harder. In hindsight, I would have paid a lot more for that home, and I didn't. I had all these reasons why. Both of these homes are fixtures. All these reasons why. Well, the appliances need replacing. The roof needs replacing. All these things need replacing. Aiden, who's sitting over here, I tell him, hey, what do you think it's worth? It's worth this much, a higher amount. I'm like, no way. It can't be worth that much. Aiden's like, all right, now my team leader is my buyer, who's arguing with my price opinion and wanting to somehow justify this imaginary price that really isn't real. Well, I failed on that one, but no problem. A couple things about the house. I could move on from it. Well, then the second house that we just looked at a couple weeks ago, my wife and I didn't see. Aiden came to the showing, or the viewing, I guess, and my wife turns to him and goes, I want this house. And I also wanted the house. It was just big enough to where, I can feel like a substantial upgrade. It's big. There's a loft. There's an open ceiling, but not so big and crazy that it's going to be a maintenance issue, CapEx issue, just too much house. It was kind of almost perfect. If I could place it in a cul-de-sac, even better, but it was like at the mouth of a cul-de-sac. So it needed work too, though. There's a stain in the ceiling. They didn't stage it. It was a little dirty. Quite frankly, I would have done different things if I were listing the home. And so I started to get greedy, right? I'm like, you know what? 1.2. I feel good offering 1.2. I was going to offer lower. I got to 1.2. Aiden's telling me, bro, this thing can go mid 1.2s. Like, this thing could go up closer to 1.3. I'm like, nah, no. Well, then I get countered. I get countered up into the mid 1.2s. Frick. All right. The counter is good for like 3 days. I want to talk to the agent. I'm telling the listing agent, hey, thank you for the counter. Can we jump on the phone? Can we have a quick conversation? I have a sense of entitlement. I'm one of the top producing agents, team leaders on this island. I feel like I should get a conversation at least, right? But as our agents advise our buyers, you got to play it cool. You got to put your best foot forward. What they see is dollar signs, right? So let's say you're buying a $2 million house, but you're willing to go up to 2.1. But let's say the other people offered 2,090,000. Seller wants to get to 2.1. You offered 2 million. You offered 1.9. But you'd go 2.1, but you'd offered 1.9. So you guys would both go 1.9. You and the buyer that you're competing with, you guys will both arrive at 2.1. But the other ones came out of the gate closer to 2, like almost at 2.1. Which one do you think the sellers are going to take? I was that guy. I was that guy offering lower. I should have just offered stronger. When I got counter offered, a multiple counter offer addendum. So to give you an idea of how competitive the market may be in the right neighborhood, in a legacy neighborhood like Mililani Mauka, it's super competitive. I wrote a strong offer. Like we do this, like we're out here. We do, what are we on pace for? 70 something deals this year. We do a lot of deals, and by Hawaii standards, by any standard really. And I should have offered more, and I know it. When they counter offered me and 2 other people, I could have recountered myself higher. So usually when you're receiving a counter, if you sign it, you got a deal. But it was a multiple counter offer addendum. So depending on who they like of the 3 that accept the counter, they're going to pick the one who had the strongest cash, the one who answered first to show strength, all things that I had in my control, right? I could have increased cash down payment. I could have increased earnest money deposit. I could have answered quicker. Instead, I held out for this agent to call me. Come to find out, my in-laws know him. My lender knows him. All these people know him. I'm like, could you get this freaking guy to call me? At this point, it doesn't feel good that I'm not getting a phone call, especially me, right? My entitlement showing through. And you're going to notice I'm calling out negative attributes, whether they be long-standing and perpetual negative things about me, or just in this event, right? Temporary entitledness is what I'll call it. I wanted a damn phone call, and I didn't get it. And then I got it a couple hours before the counteroffer deadline. Counteroffer is already signed. We send it over. In hindsight, the agent probably just didn't feel great about that. I mean, he's obviously does business a certain way. I'll say that, and was looking for the path of least resistance, maybe. I could speculate all sorts of things. Maybe he was double-ending the deal on the other side. I don't know, but maybe his friend wanted to buy it. Maybe his auntie wanted to buy it, so that's why there was no chance. He's never going to call me back because his auntie wants it. This is Hawaii, and that's certainly conceivable that it was a family deal, and no matter what, if I countered higher, then the auntie always had the first right of refusal. I won't know until the end, and then I still may not ever know. What I do know are the things that I could have changed, we coach our clients on. When something is super competitive, this escalation clause, well, let's start at 100,000 and we'll escalate up to 10,000 over the next highest offer, all the way up to $1 million. That's cute, and I get it. I wanted that. I didn't want to leave any meat on the bone. I didn't want to leave anything on the table. This is me. This is Derek. I've gotten good deals. I've bought a townhome in Waikele at a screaming deal during COVID. I bought my townhome investment at a good deal. I don't want to pay retail. I'm Derek Okahashi. Temporary entitlement seeping in. I want a decent deal, and I want a callback. I also have my commission that I could have forfeited and competed, or just up the price. When they counteroffered me, if I know everyone else is getting countered, there's 3 people getting countered at the same thing, I could have said, here's 20 grand more than even that. What does that mean in monthly payments right now? 26, 246, about $200 a month. I mean, that's not a small amount of money. Would my wife and I have done that now in hindsight? Probably. So what are things I could control that we coach our team on, our team coaches our clients on? Sometimes in these backroom conversations, I'm checking in with Aiden, I'm checking with Mahe, with Kenny. Hey, how are the Joneses doing? The Joneses really want to buy in Mililani Mauka, and they have, $800,000 cash, but they don't want to do a larger earnest money deposit. They don't want to put anything down. Now, I understand not wanting to put something down, but certain markets and situations will call for it. You do a HELOC and get it back out if you need it out. Up to 90%, don't quote me on HELOC terms. They change. Answer sooner. When the agent's accepting offers, potentially be quick. Sometimes there's a reason to not be quick. If you're negotiating, if there's room, if they send you a counter offer, don't sit on it until the last hour like I did. What else? Don't be greedy, right? So I looked at this deal and they didn't have any Ring cameras in the house, something to look out for. So I know they weren't listening to me, but I'm looking at the deal and I'm like, hey, they listed this for this much. You clean this thing up. And I get it. There's some ugly aspects. There's staining on the ceiling where the air conditioner leaked through. There's potentially water from the upstairs bathroom leaked down to the garage a little. There's a couple things, a little dirty here and there. But I know that if you gave me that listing, if I had the opportunity to sell it, we could either make those repairs or even just as it is, clean it up, a little, lipstick on a house. And we're really like shining a diamond in the rough. It wasn't presented as such though. I saw through it, but I wrote my original offer thinking, maybe nobody else can see what I see because I have the experience. And basically I was being a little entitled and greedy. I lost out on the house. Instead of practicing what I preach, because I knew that this would be this competitive, instead of practicing what I preach, I acted like some of you guys do. I love you. Don't hold that against me. But I acted like a buyer naturally does. We always say it. Sometimes I could see myself asking Mahe or Aiden or something, hey, how are the so-and-sos doing? Like, they're good. They'll buy. They're going to get one soon, but they need to get punched in the face by the market a few times. This was my punch in the face, all right? I knew what I needed to do to get accepted or at least to give my best chance. Now, we're in Mililani Malco. It could have been an all-cash offer over even what we were countered at. It could have been, it may end up going for beyond what I'd even like the deal at. Maybe at that point I'm like, I don't like it at that price, and may have gone for cash at that price. Mililani Malco can be this way. Kailua can be this way. Manoa can be this way. These certain markets can be this way. Right now, it's just got into escrow. We're still speculating. We won't know for a while. But I at least know that there are certain things that were within my control that if Aiden were my buyer's agent and I were listening to him, it would have been, don't just sit on the counter waiting for a call back. You keep pushing for the call back, you piss them off. They're not going to want to work with us. Increase money where you can in the form of earnest money deposit, in the form of the actual net outcome to the seller. Put more money in their pocket. We're pinned against the wall. You want the house. This is multiple offer situation. This is 10 offers on a legacy home in a desired neighborhood. I screwed up. Entitlement. What's some other adjectives we can throw out? Complacency. FOMO in the wrong way. I had fear of missing out on a deal. Greed. We'll just call it that. Wanting to get a better deal than is available for this house. We get that all the time. Buyers, and sellers too, for this matter, but buyers all the time. Buyers like, well, they should, don't they care that we have kids? It's like, well, of the 12 offers, I'm sure someone else had kids. Well, don't they? But how do people compete in this market? How do we even get a house if they're just going to sell it to someone else? It's like, well, if you were selling your house, you might want to get every single dollar out of it, right? Capitalism, the free market, business deals are brutal. I shouldn't be upset and I shouldn't be so entitled because, frankly, if we're on the sell side for you, we'll do the same thing. We'll be ruthless, unapologetic, and get you the most amount possible if that's your objective, which it typically is for most sellers. Some sellers look and they go, I care about this street and I want to make sure there's, tricycles in my garage when I sell it. And that's your prerogative. this was just a money situation. It was just a net outcome situation, and I could have went harder, and I didn't. I didn't. So I'm gonna get off of that rant. If you have questions, comments, stones to throw, please feel free to do it. I'm gonna look at some of your questions, and then I'm gonna talk about some of the homes that we are looking to sell or will be looking to sell soon. All right. Maurice says, hello, sir. Orlando, Florida in the house. Central Florida. What's up, Maurice? Tony Tiger. I got out offered on 3 homes in Hawaii. Welcome to the club. Well, Tony, what's your real name? Are you offering with us? Offered $100K more than the asking price and out offered. Yeah, I mean, here's the other thing. I offered using a VA loan type. This is an older agent. Maybe they think that's, VA loan's not good. I could have offered under conventional terms. Now, my interest rate would not have been as good. But yeah, maybe they just saw VA and I just got to deal with the stigma around VA and I just miss out on a home because it is what it is. Over asking price. Tony, where were you offering, et cetera, et cetera? And how come you didn't hit us up? I'm sure it was an insider job by the real estate agent, probably a friend. Let's acknowledge that. Tony's saying he lost out and it had to be an inside job. I think it's actually unlikely that yours is an inside job or mine's an inside job, but I can't help but feel that way. When I was telling another agent of mine that, we bounce things off of each other, another high producer on island, the situation, the lack of communication, the disregard, the sort of abruptness that my buddy said, you sure that this isn't an inside deal? I said, no, I didn't think about it. Another person, I asked, like, hey, I don't want to expose this other person too much, but I asked another person about it, and they said, I know the agent. I have experience with the agent. This feels like an inside deal, or why else wouldn't they communicate? Would this communication be so bad? But the agent's just probably busy. It was a hot listing. You have 8 other real estate agents trying to do what I'm doing, trying to talk, have conversations. Just show me the money if I'm the listing agent, right? Show me the money. Show me you're going to be easy to work with. And that's your best chance. And if you're outgunned, you're just outgunned. If it's 1.34 million all cash and a 2-week closing and no home inspection, no one's going to beat that. No one's going to beat that, and you could just get outgunned. I don't know about your situation, though, Tony, so I don't want to pretend that I do. Fuzzy, what's up, Bule? Fuzzy's a local investor. He was on my other podcast. Great guy, great Hawaiian. Just wanted to say I love the channel. Love from LA. Kevin, thank you. Thank you for watching. Being able to admit you were wrong and learning from experience is highly valuable. Shout out to being honest with yourself and us. Yeah, Lokahi, I mean, I got my reservations. Don't get me wrong. I wonder because, again, the type of offer I wrote, I'm not going to expose all my offer details here, but the type of offer I wrote, it would be rare for that offer to lose out to anyone, anytime. But I don't know. This is Hawaii. You just never know. And here's the thing, too. I'm buying in Mililani Mauka. Or I was trying to anyway. That is a neighborhood with low turnover. I'm buying at the sweet spot of what I would call a legacy home. So, it's a beginner house is too, it's ideal. It's too small. You'd like to have a bigger house, but maybe, not everyone can afford to upgrade. But if you could, you would. And then there's a certain size home around 2,000 square foot that for a lot of people, if any bigger, it'd just be too much to clean and they just don't want more house. This was more around that 2,000 square foot level. So it's that kind of forever home, or at least until you can't walk up the stairs anymore home. And I just got beat, I think. I have my reservations. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. Lokai, isn't that the toughest, to be honest, when it makes you uncomfortable? True character. I appreciate it. That's one thing that I think my team could vouch for me, and it starts from the top and trickles down, that we do a really good job of being honest with ourselves and honest with you. Now, not every person on my team is so direct and and straightforward as I am and say, look, you're just being too emotional. Like, let me tell you what, if you're in the shoes of a seller, and here's the thing, we'll get buyers that will say, well, if you were the seller, put yourself in the seller's shoes, or you sold your house before, didn't you want the most amount of money? Like, it came down to, you weren't going to leave $10,000 on the table. You weren't going to leave $50,000 on the table. It just came down to the net outcome, because after all, you're not filthy rich, and increments of 10,000 really matter to you. So didn't you want to just step on their throats and get the most money as well? And occasionally a buyer will be like, no. Like, if it was us, we'd sell it to us. And I bet you would. I bet you would sell it to us if it was us. But bias just comes in. Bias, in other words, that start with B, just come in when you want that house. I'm already picturing how I'm going to renovate it. I'm picturing my wife smiling when she sees how we renovate it. I'm picturing card nights, shout outs to, leave me a comment. Do you play spades? There's a game called Rich Man, Poor Man that I think is more of a Hawaii thing. We played it last night. My father-in-law came over unexpectedly. I'm picturing these nights in our new house, and then we don't get it. All of a sudden, the seller, the listing agent, they don't pay their taxes. They don't shower. They're horrible people. All of a sudden, they are horrible people. But I'm here to acknowledge it so that you can also acknowledge it when you work with us. My agents can send this live stream as a reference to our clients who are maybe going through these emotions, because they're real emotions, and I'm here with you. I get it. They're real. I'm feeling them too. I'm objective enough and self-critical enough to understand that a lot of what I'm feeling isn't entirely fair. And I had things within my control that I didn't do, and I can control those factors next time. All right. Charles Akana, I have an option to sell my home in Hawaii Kai. Oh, Charles, bro, don't say that. All the agents who watch this channel are going in tax record. They're going to come knock on your door now. I would take a cash offer before a loan offer. Sell it as is, avoid all the nitpicking and inspections. Well, Charles, so I'll tell you this. One, hit us up. Hit us up to sell your home. We'll get it on this channel. We'll get you the most dollars for it. And yeah, cash offer, like all the things I'm saying, like we'll be skilled and unapologetic and ruthless for you to sell your home. Sometimes cash isn't the best. Where is the cash? Is it liquid? We have cash buyers. Sometimes they're more entitled. Speaking of entitlement and acknowledging shortcomings, sometimes the cash buyer is more entitled than the buyer with lending, because sometimes they feel like, you know what, these knobs, don't work. These angle valves a little drippy. They better fix it. I'm cash. Whereas the person with the loan is like, they had a cash backup. We better not ask for anything. So there's a lot of nuance that goes into that. I'm not going to unpack and do a whole episode right now on cash versus conventional and lending and VA, but cash isn't always the best. Sometimes, typically it is, but not always. All right. I wonder why they didn't come back to ask for a counter. Yeah. Only time will tell, if at all. Do you have representation on Maui? I'd love to use you guys in the future. Soul Train. Actually, I'm in talks. So Mahe has a good friend on Maui that's an agent. I have another agent I refer to consistently. We have another agent we refer to consistently and collaborate with. So these people are kind of like team until like in the place of having an official team member. And I've began talks with someone about becoming officially part of core team and having a stronger continuity of using our admins and using our systems and everything. And then Mahe is always looking for an excuse to fly to Maui. That's her second home. Sometimes she considers that her first home. She knows the island super well. So I'm thinking that in the months to come, we already make sure we partner with and find the right fits on these islands. But I'm thinking in the months to come, we're going to have a special working relationship for Maui where, there'll be a core team person on Maui. Hello from Alabama, dropping in to say hi. Grandkids decided to pop in, so keep it short today. All right, sounds good. All right. Spinnaker Isle, Old Home Original. Yeah. Charles, hit me up. My grandkids never. No, for real, Charles. If it's okay, we'll reach out to you. We can have a conversation. Let me know what you want to do. We're not high pressure. I don't have the time nor the will to be like this, door to door kind of salesman person with you and bother you. But if you like the channel, you enjoy it, you're confident in the skill, the transparency, you think it would be a fit, hit us up. My grandkids never been to Hawaii yet. They only know Southern lifestyles, not grandparents and parents' Hawaiian lifestyle. Hawaii's special. I talk about the connection between Southern comfort and aloha and how there's a lot of similarities, but Hawaii in the end is just special, unique, and I think it's the best. Appreciate it. I'll check out your website, mahalo. Yep, you should go to the bottom of the website. All 3 homes sold around me eventually get scrapped and new houses rebuilt. Yeah. That's how it goes. All right. I want to talk about some deals that we have coming for potential buyers. We have a Waikalani townhome coming to the market soon, coming months. We have another Mililani Mauka townhome coming to the market in coming months. I don't know how involved I may or may not be, but there's a Kaneohe, a beautiful, probably the nicest home in Kaneohe at the time of listing. That if you're interested in something in the 1.6 range in Kaneohe, just beautified and made like new, reach out to us. I believe it's a 4-bedroom. And also, let's go here. So if Kenji can go to my screen, we are ready to make a deal. And by that I mean my seller wants to sell this home. This is a home in Eva and the Laulani neighborhood near Safeway, so you can walk to Jolene's, you can walk to Safeway, you can walk to your pool, your swimming pool. A well-located corner lot, which means larger yard, and in good overall condition. And so the only reason why this home hasn't sold yet is there are renters in, but those renters have less than 6 weeks left. So the time will come, this home will go quickly when the time comes. If you're interested in buying a home in the 800s range, reach out to us, and we'll put this deal together with you. All right? Eva's a different neighborhood. It's like, well, why is there a home sitting in Eva when Derek's talking about like losing out on homes in Mililani Mauka? Well, 2 different neighborhoods, 2 different inventories, 2 different buyers profiles. Again, the beginning of the legacy home, the beginning of the home that's the size that the wife wants to be in forever, or at least until we can't walk. That's a home that typically has a lot more cash involved in the offerings. A beginner home in Eva is a home that's more heavily affected by BAH and what's happening there. So markets are different. I'm going to unpack all of it right now. If you have specific questions, definitely let us know or schedule a consult for Charles here. Take a couple more questions, and then I will go to our client feedback for the week. Then we'll wrap this one up. Aloha from Eva. This is Steve Haraloha. Haraloha. Interesting. With is that a UHH on there? Anyways. Aloha from Eva. I'm late for work, but this is the first time I caught you live. Want to say aloha and would love to have you on my podcast. Much love and aloha, brother. I'm off to do some plumbing. Hey, Steve, we always need plumbers, man. I have every single trade locked down. Plumbing just depends. So shoot me a message, shoot me a text. Let me know what your podcast is about and about your plumbing company and your background. I'd love to learn more. Hiker Bill. That's why we like you guys, Derek. Everybody should have a slice of humble pie every now and then. It takes a different type of man to be able to admit it on YouTube. We're live? No, just kidding. You're teaching us through your pain. No, I appreciate it. You know me, Mr. Marketer, Mr. Businessman. I'm gonna look for an opportunity in everything, and I've gone through it. I've gone through the stages of grief with this whole real estate situation, and I've been colorful, with my team and explaining the situation and the stresses around it. But I'm also objective enough to know, all right, guys, I'm going to give you a minute to turn it off. If you have kids, if you're watching this, you have kids. If it's live, turn the volume down. Okay? I was being a little bitch. I was just being a bitch about it. Okay, you can turn the camera back, the volume back up. And I'm aware of that, right? I'm aware of me behaving and being entitled or being hopeful, ignorantly optimistic. I wouldn't even say optimistic or cautiously optimistic, like naively optimistic that I can get this deal done at the price I wanted to get it done at. Because you know what? I was comparing it to a deal that just happened that probably was an inside deal because it sold for 50 to 100 grand under what it probably could have sold for. So yeah, just acknowledging it for what it is, calling a spade here. My contact info is my about section. Would love to have you guys on as a guest, even collab in person for a video. All right, Steve. I don't know. Can we review the chat after the live is done? You can check it out. You can click on it. Kenj can click on it. You'd be surprised what kids know. They use YouTube University. Oh, no, I know. I just don't want to be the one. I don't want Uncle Derek to be the one, We had a house in Evansville Gentry in 91, sold it in 96, moved to the mainland after kids graduated from high school. Imagine if you had kept it, though. When I come to your house on a selling appointment, I'm always open to, or I may even prompt the conversation of you keeping it. And that's kind of crazy because you get a listing appointment. Every agent's already counting the money. Well, I know that you build the most wealth by keeping pieces on the Monopoly board, not removing them from the Monopoly board. You can't win the game with no pieces. And so we call that out. Even if you're only going to go 2 pieces, you want Park Place and Boardwalk. You want 2 big ones. And maybe you can win the game. But you're not going to win the game with no pieces. So we always have that conversation in our listing appointments too. Now, sometimes it's just time. It's like, it's really not a conversation because the people, it's just time to sell. And that's okay. It's especially okay if you take those proceeds, hopefully tax-free up to $250,000 per spouse of capital gains deference. Ask your CPA because I'm not one. But hopefully you take that money and instead of buying Disney vacations and candy bars, you buy more real estate or other assets. All right. RL, Derek will address. I'm looking to purchase a property. This is RL. What would you recommend? Buying at Modea or Core Ridge? I'm looking for price appreciation. That is, RL, I'd love to get in a consult and we'd love to unpack, like, why are you looking at the two? We just had someone move. Oh, we could introduce you. They love us. We've done 4 deals with their family now. We had someone move from the general Modea area, downtown Honolulu, to Core Ridge. And so they'd probably be happy to jump on the console and give their thoughts. They love us. Shout outs to Trisha and Nick. But most people aren't willing to do one or the other. So I wonder why you have both on the table. Now, if you're just buying, so when you're buying Modea, remember you're not buying new construction. If I were a Modea salesperson, what I would say is, yeah, but this is proven. It's better than new construction. New construction, you don't know. There's just some truth to that, right? New materials, new companies that make new materials. Whereas a building built in the 70s or the 80s, it's been there. And if it's not having problems, that's a good sign. Sometimes the best indicator of future outcomes are past outcomes. With new construction, you don't have any past outcomes or past experience or past data to build off of, right? But Core Ridge is Castle and Cook. It's a good, it's generally good. I would buy Core Ridge. I took my wife over there to check it out. For appreciation, what are you going to buy in Coral Ridge? That's the other thing too. Are you talking about like single family versus condo? Because if you're talking single family versus condo, I'm going single family, especially in light of all of the recent insurance shenanigans that are causing increases in HOAs and maintenance fees and assessment increases, or just adding on assessments to buildings and to mortgages. Like you have a factor that if it were to go in the wrong direction, it combats your appreciation, and it does a good job of combating it, meaning bad for you. So given the option between Coral Ridge single family and Modea, I go Coral Ridge. Now, if you're talking about a condo versus a condo, that's a tough one. The good thing about Modea is it will be, the nicest thing in that few block radius, and it'll be limited. There won't be a ton of inventory. Whenever you're buying condo, say this is a single family, you got one single family house. When you buy a condo, you're one of 1,000, right? And so you're buying more of a commodity than a unique thing. Modea is at least smaller and more limited, so I like that about it. I want to know, did you put single family versus condo? It sounds like you don't recommend, or apprehensive, I should say. I'm going to be honest. Can you tell me, Wai'oha and Nanea? Okay, so you're talking single family. I'm going Coral Ridge. Now, if you want the downtown lifestyle, you will kill yourself. Jokes, like exaggeration. You will not be able to deal with the suburb lifestyle. You need to be downtown. You need like a Cuban eatery dive spot. You need the Podmore? Like you need these sorts of things. Then it's really not a conversation, because you need Modea, and Modea is really cool. But if it's neither here nor there for you, and you're down to do the commute and live in the suburbs, I'm going Nanea. You guys have any disagreement with any of that? I'm getting from the agents behind me, same. If those are your options that you have on the table, I'm going Nanea. Now, I get that if you're looking for like a bachelor pad, that Modea, like the nicer units in Modea, and just having that lifestyle would be cool. But it sounds like you're comparing single family pricing. I'm going Nanea. Yeah. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. If not, I'm going to jump off of this live. Here, I'm going to go to my email, and I thought you put in attachments in there. It didn't. There's no attachments. But if you don't go to my screen yet, refresh. Okay. All right, I'm refreshing. What we're trying to bring up is the reviews from our clients. Yeah, no attachments there, but I think Charlotte sent it to me as well. No, I don't have it. Okay. Thanks for the advice. I'll connect with y'all in a bit. I already own a property in Ward Village, but I'm looking to expand a bit. Well, I'd be interested in having this conversation with you. What do you own in Ward Village? What do you like about it? When did you get in? Were you a pre-construction person? Did you buy post-construction? Those are all things to unpack. How's your association in your building? Are you in IO? Are you where are you? And how's that performing for you? And let's unpack that. You're similar to our clients, Nick and Trisha. They went from urban town over to Coral Ridge, and I'm sure they'd be willing to unpack that with us a little bit and chat with you about their experience. That'd be a super good one. Be a super good connection. Thanks for not returning my 3 phone calls. Okay. All right. So feedback on Mahe from Esther. Mahe is friendly and responsive. She communicates well and can answer my questions in a professional and timely manner. Thank you, Esther. Oh, Aiden. Aiden is spectacular. Right now we have little communication because I'm still undecided, but when I'm ready, I will definitely reach out to him. Yeah, Kavika's situation is unique too, and so it takes some thought, some skill, some underwriting to really help Kavika on that one. She's this is about Mahe from Ronald. She's very professional and she's courteous and knows what she's doing. I had 5 houses before in my life, and I can tell, sorry with the typos here, and I can tell she knows what she's doing. That's a huge compliment. Anytime we have clients that are like, I've bought 5 homes and you guys are the best. You guys have made it the most seamless. I always felt like, some of the feedback we get sometimes is, I felt like I should be doing more because when I bought my 3 or my 4 or my 5 other homes, I was always having to do more work. I think combination of the lending team that we typically work with and our team, our shout outs to my admins and even their admins, world class. So world class that other agents, let me give this flex so to influence you to call us, because let's say you call right now and we get an escrow within the next week. And then the escrow takes 45 days. For 6 out of the 7 weeks of our working relationship, our admins are involved, right? Like they've been here through most of it. Our admin team and our I want to say systems and processes, because I'm reluctant to give myself credit on systems and processes, but we do have them. We're better than most in that respect. We also just have better humans. We've invested in good technology. Our admin is so good that other agents are now paying. I've started another company. I have another side company, and it's basically just other agents from other teams pay to use our admin. And so why not just go to the source, Why not? Why buy Fiji water when you could just fly Air Fiji? You know what I mean? Aiden's laughing in the background. Thanks for not returning my phone calls. Pre-construction in A'ali'i. I bought it just as an investment. It cash flows pretty well, but hasn't appreciated in value that much. Yeah, that's the problem. If you bought A'ali'i pre-construction and the appreciation is really not there, it's because of these condo factors, right? That wouldn't be the case in Nanea. Like, I don't think if Nanea were available back then and you had bought Nanea, the appreciation would have been there. And actually, you would have experienced the refi times of 2.25% interest rates, and you'd cash flow too, because the price, it would have been a better investment. So, yeah. Would you recommend someone who doesn't own a home yet but wants to get into real estate investment buy a home first or their investment property first? You wanna talk about it? Oh, Aiden saying like, I want to be on that consult and talk about it. I think that's a personal decision. It sounds like you're just talking about math and not emotions, not where you live, where are you going to live in the meantime, where are you going to buy this investment, what are exit costs, what are capital expenditure costs. So when a driveway, a sewer line, a refrigerator needs replacing, how does that eat into this cash on cash return? That, because remember the seller's agents, oh, you're getting an 8% return. Yeah, well, not after you pay, the money to sell it, not after you fix a few things, not after you experience a few vacancies over 5 years. Like, I would buy the thing you live in. Also, what age are you, right? Are you going to be earning? Like, let's say you knock it out of the park. Let's say you find some deal where you're going to get $500 a month in cash flow, $800, $1,000 a month in cash flow. Well, that's $12,000 a year pre-tax. Are you going to stop working because of that one rental? Probably not. If you're going to be working for the next 30 years anyway, what if you just bought the better home, the single family home in Hawaii that you want to buy and want to live in? What if you bought that and you could work on paying it off aggressively? You could not do that and then go work on buying investment properties. Why not plant this tree plant this substantial tree before you go start planting the mint and the basil and everything, which are the little $200,000 rental properties. So I tend to think buy the one you live in, stabilize it. If you save up a big amount of money or inherit, you can do what's called recasting the loan. So I'll put $200,000 down on the loan or refi it if refi time is good. Move out of it. If it's break even to cash flow, move out of that. Let that appreciation, let that, pay down from the renter, let the tax advantage, let all this stuff happen. Depreciation scheduling. Let all of that happen and go move into another one. Plant a couple of big trees. Make appreciation plays first. And then go work on cash flow when you actually need it. Because when you're in your 50s, 60s, and you're looking to retire, you need the cash flow. But like me, even at age 40, if I got $5,000 a month in cash flow right now, and I'm not being so pretentious as to say that's not a lot of money, that's life-changing. But would I stop working? Would my day, my time, my investments in my team, would any of these things change? No, they wouldn't change. So I tend to like the appreciation play earlier in life and then move towards cash flow. But a lot of people, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book and even the game teaches cash flow first. Go buy cash flow. Also, what market cycle are we in? Even the pros aren't finding the deals they were finding 10 years ago. Even the people that their whole life is just finding deals are not finding the deals they were finding 10 years ago. So I hope that helps to answer your question. All right. Thank you guys very much. I'm going to jump off. Go to coreteamhawaii.com. Go to the bottom. You can look at my screen here. coreteamhawaii.com. You can go back into the YouTube channel. You can click on these things to look at videos. Or you can go all the way to the very bottom to contact us to talk about selling your home, Brother Charles. All right.